resource that needs to move. We can't move it into the North American market, so it's basically orphaned there. It's a massive resource that if we can move it, the royalties off that obviously bring in significant revenue to government, but at the same time also creates a lot of jobs in the northeast part of the province. But those revenues will help us obviously to be sustainable for a long time in BC. The LNG plants themselves and the pipelines are significant capital investments, probably, they're no doubt the largest in British Columbia history, and if they go ahead, there's thousands of jobs. There are thousands of people who build pipelines and have to build the plant. Probably somewhere around 75,000 to 100 jobs, basically for 10 years, including construction. And then long-term jobs, we'll phase in some of that 100,000. Probably about 60, 70,000 people have full-time employment. So you put all that together along with the economic benefit of it, the jobs, all the income that comes back into the economy. It's just more spin-offs and more spin-offs for jobs, but it's also an opportunity for government to have revenues to take care of things like education, healthcare, social programs, the things that people want us to be able to do. So when you're fiscally responsible with that and you get more revenue in and we stay fiscally responsible with balanced budget, it does mean we'll be able to pay off the debt and create a prosperity fund to the next generation. With all this opportunity coming to BC, we're going to need people to do work, and we have a very good construction industry in BC, very well, developed. It can do all kinds of work, everything from building of buildings, plus all the pipe fitting and all the construction stuff related to trucking and excavation, as well as the electricians and carpenters and pipe fitters and those sort of things. So we need them to be focused on how they're going to build their companies to be part of it. So what we're doing, we're building a Buy BC program that basically will let the companies know that want to build here and invest here, what capacity there is in the system and who they can contact with regards to bids and opportunities for BC business, which our priority is as much of the business goes to British Columbia companies first and the jobs go to BC people first, but we also recognize that we're going to need to help the rest of the country as far as the number of people we're going to need. These are big projects and require a significant amount of skilled people. And in Australia, the experience was that the cost of the company to the companies for construction of a plant went up by about 45% on the labor side. That's a big number. And there's a lot of labor involved here, and that number grows. It actually affects your investment decision, because if you talk about spending $20 billion, and let's say $10 billion of it is your labor, and you're going to get a 45% increase, and that's $4.5 billion. That makes it tougher for a board to make a decision. So they want to know that Canada particularly has their act together on skilled labor that we can deliver to these projects from not just BC, but from across the country. Well, it's a bit of a fun little competition we have. I mean, there you have the success of the oil sands and the number of jobs there. And I don't think the ministers necessarily understood how big LNG could be. And so we had a little bit of a fun conversation about labor, saying, well, you do your skills, we'll be able to use them in the oil sands. And I said, well, actually, in fact, we need all the people we train here, plus we'll probably have to come and take some people from the oil sands. So the reality is that we're going to have to, as a country, recognize, if we want this huge economic development, that we were built on immigration and people coming in to provide skills to us. So one advantage we have over Australia, we're on a continent with a lot more people on it south to us than they were as basically an isolated continent. So we have access to other skilled labor on the continent. And there are people that are very good at doing certain jobs. Pieces of this work, specialized welders and things that can come from elsewhere in the country, need to come in here. So there are people not only to help us build, but they'll also be able to impart their skills to our own people in BC to help them get the skills they're going to need for the future ones.